Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have a super exciting video for all you horror movie fans out there. We're counting down the top 10 best slasher movies of all time. So grab your popcorn, turn off the lights, and get ready to be scared out of your wits. Starting off our list at number 10 is Black Christmas. As their college campus empties out ahead of the Christmas break, the last few remaining members of a sorority house begin to receive threatening phone calls from a stranger. As the police try to discover who is responsible, the stalker creeps through the house and quietly murders the girls before slinking back into the shadows. Black Christmas has a unique legacy as being one of the most acclaimed slasher movies of all time, while also being one of the most underrated. Its low-key stalk-and-slay story is still just as chilling almost 50 years later, while its focus on young, female victims targeted by a creepy man has become a trademark of the genre.
There's someone in the house.
Coming in at number 9 is Child's Play. When a scuffle with police inside a toy store sees prolific serial killer Charles Lee Ray, Brad Dourif, shot dead, he uses his dying words to enact a spell that places his soul inside a good guy doll. When the doll finds its way into the hands of young Andy Barkley, Alex Vincent, Chucky plots to steal the boy's body and kill anyone who dares to try and stop him. Leaning into its silly premise, by never taking itself too seriously, Child's Play is one of the most inventive slasher movies of the 1980s, as the diminutive killer takes down targets much larger than him. Chucky is one of the most iconic horror villains, with Dourif's portrayal striking the perfect balance between funny and scary.
Can we open my presents now, Mommy? A good guy! I knew it! Hi, I'm Chucky.
He's something, isn't he?
Next up at number 8 is The Burning. After Cropsey, Lou David, the caretaker of a youth summer camp, is left horribly burnt after a prank gone wrong. He swears bloody revenge on the camp's guests. When a new wave of kids and teens arrive for a summer of fun, they instead find themselves stalked and killed by the deranged murderer and his gardening shears. Another overlooked slasher movie from the 1980s, The Burning has gained new appreciation from horror fans in the decades since its release. While some deride it as being a Friday the 13th knockoff, The Burning carves its own identity, as it features early appearances from Jason Alexander and Fisher Stevens, and an unforgettable massacre aboard a raft. At number 7 we have Friday the 13th. The original bloodbath at Camp Crystal Lake sees a group of young camp counselors arrive to prepare the area for the inbound campers. Content to spend their downtime partying and lounging by the lake, the teens soon find themselves fighting for their lives as an unseen killer begins picking them off one by one. While some will argue that the original Friday the 13th is not the best in the series, with the final chapter and Jason Lives having their fans, the first movie set the template for the franchise and many other slasher movies that followed. It also harbors a mystery element that the sequels lack, as they shift focus to a Jason who demolishes teens with ease.
Must be my imagination.
Taking the number 6 spot is Psycho. On the run after stealing $40,000 from her employer, Marion Crane, Janet Leigh stops to spend the night at the remote Bates Motel. Operated by the awkward Norman Bates, Anthony Perkins, and his unseen mother, Marion shares a polite chat with the owner before spiraling into a web of murder and mystery. Alfred Hitchcock's best movie, Psycho sees the master of suspense at the top of his game as he crafts a tale packed with shocking twists. It is more subdued than your average slasher movie, as it spends more time developing its characters rather than killing them. Its influence on horror and cinema, in general, cannot be understated, as it set many templates that many movies still follow, while its iconic shower scene is one of the most recognized moments in film. Alright, folks, listen up. If you're enjoying the content on this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a good old-fashioned thumbs up. Let's show the creator some love, shall we? Halfway through our list at number 5 is Candyman. When graduate student Helen, Virginia Madsen, learns of an urban legend surrounding a hooked killer known as the Candyman, she ventures into the disadvantaged neighborhood he is said to haunt. Discovering that the boogeyman is more than a myth, Helen soon finds herself framed for Candyman's murders as she struggles to prove his existence. Alongside Hellraiser, Candyman is horror master Clive Barker's most famous work. Tony Todd is unforgettable as the Candyman, and he creates one of horror's most iconic killers. Rather than just relying on gore, Candyman is a chilling tale thanks to its haunting atmosphere, and will have you avoiding mirrors for a while.
The daily horrors of their lives to a mythical figure.
Coming in at number 4 is Halloween. The sleepy town of Haddonfield is violently woken up as convicted murderer Michael Myers returns to his hometown and the scene of his earlier crimes. Donning his signature mask, Michael stalks babysitters on Halloween night and murders them, before meeting his match in Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, the greatest ever final girl. The definitive slasher movie, Halloween is the most influential work in the genre. While Peeping Tom and Black Christmas came before it, Halloween popularized the concept of a masked killer targeting teenagers, and directly influenced the creation of other legendary slasher movies, such as Friday the 13th and My Bloody Valentine.
I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Breaking into the top 3 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. When a group of teens' day trip in the Texas countryside is cut short thanks to their van breaking down, they walk to a nearby farmhouse for help. Rather than finding helpful locals, they instead find the chainsaw-wielding Leatherface, who slaughters each of the youths, so their bodies can be used to feed his family. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is still considered one of the scariest movies of all time, thanks in no small part to its suffocating, sun-drenched atmosphere. While most horror movies take place in the dark, Texas Chainsaw instead finds the horror in daytime, with the sight of Leatherface swinging his chainsaw in the Texas sun one of the most iconic images in horror. At number 2, we have A Nightmare on Elm Street. After Nancy, Heather Langenkamp, and her friends begin experiencing similar nightmares featuring a burnt man with a razor-fingered glove, they realize they are being stalked by the spirit of murdered child killer Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund. As the teens begin dying in their sleep, Nancy realizes she must stay awake to stay alive. The definitive slasher movie of the 1980s, A Nightmare on Elm Street adds a clever twist on the slasher formula by having Freddy stalk his victims' dreams. As the teens cannot simply run away, and will have to sleep eventually, Freddy remains a constant threat as he creeps closer and closer to his victims the longer they stay awake. And finally, taking the number 1 spot on our list is Scream. When the quiet town of Woodsboro becomes the hunting ground of a movie-obsessed serial killer, teenager Sidney Prescott, Neve Campbell, becomes the main character in a real-life slasher movie. As her friends fall prey to their masked stalker, Sidney has to fight to prove she is the final girl of this budding franchise. and not just another victim. A decade after creating a horror legacy with A Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven struck slasher gold again with this meta-masterpiece. Scream's self-aware approach to the genre won it a legion of fans, and its legacy can be seen in the wave of Scream-like slasher movies that dominated the 1990s.
This is some scary movie.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
You never told me your name.
Why do you want to know my name?
I want to know who I'm looking at.
And that's a wrap on our list of the top 10 best slasher movies of all time. Let us know in the comments which of these films is your favorite. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more horror movie content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.